Welcome everybody back to the YYC Real Estate Show. We have myself, Shiraz, and Seb. Today we're going to be talking about secondary suites. Well, suites in general, kind of how they're labeled and what they're all about and the benefits and that sort of thing there. So I'll start off here. Obviously we all know as realtors and mostly the public knows about a suite in a home. But I thought it'd be nice to have some more information because sometimes it's a bit...
What is a suite in a home? Is it like the master bedroom is just a suite in like a hotel? Or what is a suite?
We're going to learn about that today, Shiraz. Exactly. So first of all, we're going to talk about secondary suites actually. So a secondary suite is a self-contained living space within a property. It typically includes a private kitchen, bathroom, and separate entrance. These units can be located within the main dwelling, such as the basement of an apartment, a basement apartment in a home, or detached from it, like a laneway house or a coach house.
We call them here carriage houses.
Carriage houses, yes. So we have legal versus unauthorized or illegal suites. You hear that a lot. So not all secondary suites are legal. Many existing units were created without proper authorization or failed to meet legal requirements. Property owners must obtain authorization from the municipality and adhere to strict building codes to create and maintain a legal secondary suite. Legal suites in Calgary are eligible for a City of Calgary secondary suite sticker to show their legal suite status. Secondary suite registration stickers never expire. However, suite owners must maintain compliance with safety codes and any subsequent changes in regulations. So we all kind of know that. We see some people try to change things in here, but you have to keep it the same as when it was legally approved.
Yeah. And to be more specific with like the whole like having a kitchen, a bedroom, and a bathroom, the kitchen can't just be like a wet bar with a sink and a fridge. It has to have a cooking appliance for it to be considered a kitchen, right?
Point, yes.
So if it only has a wet bar, then it's not an illegal suite.
Yes. So Calgary's secondary suite registry, in Calgary, a secondary suite is considered legal if it's on the city's secondary suite registry. The registry includes suites that have obtained all necessary permits and meet Alberta safety code requirements, like we just went over. So there's some legal considerations you have to consider. Always verify the legality of any existing secondary suites or potential additions within the municipality. Safety and compliance are very crucial, obviously. If the city upzones to RGC, it's crucial to understand how this change might impact the property's use and value. You want to talk a little bit about that, Shiraz?
Is it RGC and there's RCG?
Right? Yeah, both.
Yeah, so changing the zoning just allows those properties to be approved for sure to have those suites because not all areas will be allowed to have them. A secondary suite you must provide a walkout, it must have a separate entrance, right? So that's officially a secondary suite, right? There's a lot of properties where sometimes you can have an illegal suite, and there's some cool older properties in town where there's actually the top level has its own kitchen. The middle level has its own kitchen, then the basement. There's actually properties with 3 suites in
there was
them.
a fascinating one that you saw, did you see that one the other day? That property that has 3 levels actually has 4 suites?
Yeah.
Somewhere in Calgary,
Yeah, that one was in Ramsey.
Right. And that was a pretty interesting property because it was grandfathered in, supposedly.
Yeah.
With all its extra suites. It's supposed to be just a 2-story home, but it had 4 suites in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Awesome. Well, obviously having a secondary suite to your property can be a smart move, whether for the rental income or accommodating some family members. You know, if you have someone who wants to move in that still wants their own space, their own, cooking appliances, bathroom type of thing. However, it's important to know the ins and outs of advertising a suite. So this is for both realtors watching, any advertising company, and for people that might want to sell their home just by themselves. You need to know the wordage and the verbiage of what you can and can't say. So some things to remember is if your comments are about existing suites, you must use the word legal or illegal to describe the suite each time the word suite is used. So if you have an ad and it says suite 4 times, for all those 4 times you have to put legal or illegal. This aligns with REIX's policy on necessary disclosures to avoid voiding your insurance. So if you don't use that, they could come after you on a sale and say you didn't advertise it right. If your comments are about altering the property to add a suite, such as easy to suite or convert the garage to a suite, or make a basement a mortgage helper, the listing agent must make it clear that the municipality ultimately decides any alteration. The phrase "subject to city approvals and permitting" must be used if commenting on future suite development.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's common, and you see it a lot where, walkout basement unfinished, easily convert this into a suite, easily suitable, create a mortgage helper. But after that, you're seeing on all of them, it must say easily suitable, subject to municipality approval.
Yeah.
Easily suitable, subject to city approval.
Yeah, and that's great for all, like I said, great for all realtors to know anybody advertising their own place. And then just, again, this is more for the realtor side of things. Just avoid jargon and be clear. So CREB requires all remarks about a property to be complete and accurate and reflect its current use. So we know that. If the word suite is used in remarks, the listing is only considered complete if the word, so we went over that. If the word legal or illegal is used every time it is. And when creating property listings, it is essential to avoid jargon related to rezoning or specific zoning destinations. Example, RCG, RMX, HGO. Buyers can't be expected to know what all the different zones means. So that is fair. I mean, sometimes some realtors don't.
What they're saying is there's no need to put that in the public remarks about zoning, and this could be potentially part of the blanket rezone and be rezoned for HGO, currently rezoned for RCG.
Right.
So getting into that, what they're talking about, avoid that jargon of comments to the general public. You want to keep it clean and concise and the same across the board.
Yeah.
So it's a good trick. I mean, you can put it in the private remarks, agent to agent, that they'll be able to see, because that'll be a common question now with investors looking at lots. And hey, is this in the blanket rezone? Will this get changed? So you can put that in the private remarks, but not for the general public.
Right.
So topic today, going over suites. What can we talk about a little bit more?
Let's just say I am a client, and I tell you, buyer or seller, right? Let's just say buyer. This property has an illegal suite. I don't want to buy something with something illegal. And I don't what does this mean? It's an illegal suite. Can I, do I have to make changes if I buy the property? Right? What does that mean? Can I rent it? What do you, right? A client might have a lot of questions when it comes to what can they actually do with an illegal suite, right? Or do they have to make it completely illegal before renting it? How does that work?
So every suite that's in a property is one or the two. Now, the term illegal scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not illegal in the sense that you're going to go to jail or get a hefty fine or anything. It's illegal in the sense where if it were to be caught or a neighbor complains there's too many cars parked, I think my next door neighbor is renting his basement, and I've looked it up online and I don't see a registry for a legal suite, but I think my neighbor is renting their basement.
Yeah.
The city will then come. They'll first give you a warning. They'll then come and inspect your basement. And then they will enforce you to remove your stove from that basement. Yeah. Right?
Stove, kitchen,
Well, no, you're allowed to have literally everything except for a stove. Because if it's legal, it must have passed and have all the safety fire code regulations to have an electrical stove, a gas stove down there. Yeah. But you'll see illegal suites that run no problem when they just have a hot plate. Yeah. For example, right? Mm-hmm. So a hot plate, sink, fridge, no problem. You can have that all day long. It really only matters, and the deciding factors and the issues are always rely with the cooking appliance. You have an electric stove, gas stove. That's what everyone's scared about. That's what everyone's worried about. That's where the fires can happen. That's where the safety concerns come in, right? So that's where it ends and begins. Yeah. So you go into a property and you've gone with clients and they see a fully finished basement. Well, how can I suite this? It's not even a walkout. I really like this property. It would be great to have a suited basement. How can I do it? So we can't really give the full figures, but it is hovering today around let's say you walk in the basement, it's not a walkout. You can create a walk-up basement. Yeah. Decide where along the foundation it would be ideal. It's about $8,000 to $10,000 today. They come in and you could even say 10 to 12. You can even say 12,000 today.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they would come, cut a hole literally into your home, and then create a walk-up
foundation.
Yeah. Make a proper concrete walk-up with the drain. Yeah. And that's you create
I think other expensive things you might need to consider when wanting to have your suite legalized, right? Is you need to completely drywall and tape and mud the furnace room, right? You need to have separate temperature controls for up and down, which could mean a secondary furnace or a device that controls how much heat each floor gets. Right.
And when you get into that, you're almost better to just have two furnaces because that can be really expensive.
It can be expensive.
Yeah,
It can be very expensive, right? And then also having enough amperage to meet the needs of the stove, the fridge, the
secondary
microwave,
suite,
right? And that could be very expensive too. Adding a power line that actually meets those requirements. And then obviously some electrical things like having the interconnected smoke alarm system throughout the whole house, right? So that's why it can get kind of costly to legalize a suite, right? But for safety reasons, including adding the fire rated door, it's important.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's important. And it's up to the homeowner to do that, right? And if not, they could get in trouble with the city.
Of course. But and on the flip side of things, I mean, if you are a buyer looking at a place with a legal suite, it can be very beneficial for you.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're going to rent it out, I mean, that's just extra income against your mortgage every month for renting out a whole suite in your basement. So as a buyer, obviously, everybody wants a legal suite if they can afford the home that has it.
Yeah, I mean, each client's different. I had a client that specifically wanted, a suited property. And like most buyers, he steps in, he renovates the full upstairs, rents that out for top dollar, then starts to renovate the walkout basement, which has its own suite that he was living in. And I go to visit him to follow up on my client and see the progress of the property I had sold him and stuff. I didn't recognize the property anymore. Didn't recognize the big double garage and everything he'd done inside.
Yeah.
And then I go in the home, it's a fully redone home, and to really maximize his investment, he's only staying in one of the two bedrooms in the basement. He's renting the other bedroom. And then he's renting the entire upstairs for top dollar.
Wow.
So he's the owner and he just has a little one room in the basement.
Yeah.
That's your landlord downstairs.
Yeah, no kidding.